From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
Big exciting news that came out of nowhere as Senator Ron Wyden wants to give you $6,000 in stimulus. Yes, that Ron Wyden. He's come forward with a new unemployment plan that could pay you $6,000. This is money no one has seen before, and it's a brand new bill, and you're hearing it only on this channel. It's a brand new bill introduced minutes ago, and I have all the details for it for you in this recording. Meantime, Walmart wants you. A lot new jobs now available at Walmart. Also, American Airlines is ramping up its travel for the summer, and I'll tell you what it means across the board for that data. Also, really exciting, great news as the push is underway for $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness, and a new report out today that Elizabeth Warren had requested now shows the impact for millions of Americans if $50,000 of student loan debt is forgiven later this week. I have all those details on a major recording as Afternoons LA gets underway right now. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Big exciting news across the board, especially with this individual, Senator Ron Wyden, who wants to give you $6,000 in stimulus. Stimulus you've never heard before on this channel until this recording. This is breaking news, only heard right now on LALATE. And this is the man who has been the person behind FPUC Retro, the person behind Hazard Pay, the person behind a lot of great things for unemployment. I have all that exciting, great news. Also big news about student loan debt forgiveness happening just minutes ago. And also big news for jobs at Amazon and American Airlines. Boy, what a big day this is. In addition, the fourth stimulus check heating up. Yes, those senators, including Ron Wyden, want to give you a monthly stimulus check under the fourth stimulus package. Monthly, until December. Well, Ron Wyden wants to give you more money on top of that. So let's just recap. Not one or the other, both. He wants to give you a monthly stimulus check between when it becomes law to December, and he wants to give you $6,000 on top of that. You keeping track? Get that Larry Kudlow calculator out. There's a lot of forced stimulus in this recording, and there's a lot of standalone stimulus. And we like as much stimulus no matter what we call it. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Boy, coming up in this recording, I'll have the big details about that $6,000 of stimulus from Ron Wyden, who will get it, who is eligible for it, and what does this mean for FPUC Retro. And I'll have also the big exciting news about those new jobs across the board. But let's cut right to this person. To start, Elizabeth Warren wants you to have a monthly stimulus check as well. If this sounds sort of familiar, the same voices we hear on a daily basis about those monthly stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package are also working on other provisions for other stimulus. And Elizabeth Warren's other push, of course, is student loan debt forgiveness. And in a major event that happened just minutes ago, Elizabeth Warren got released today a document she had asked for yesterday. And what does that document show? It shows the impact the American economy would have if her $50,000 of student loan debt is unveiled. Remember, Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer have been pushing for $50,000 of student loan debt since last year. And a new report today shows that impact of student loan debt. What does it say? Well, Elizabeth Warren had said that when you forgive student loan debt, Americans are able to do a lot of stuff that they wouldn't be able to do before. Now we know the impact. A new report today, as a result of a request for federal data from Senator Elizabeth Warren, reveals that 36 million Americans would be debt-free if their student loan debt is forgiven. That is a major, major announcement. Imagine 36 million Americans who can't buy a home because of student loan debt, can't start a business because of student loan debt, can't buy a car because of student loan debt, can't do something that puts money into this economy. They can't do things to progress this economy. 36 million Americans because of student loan debt. Well, that new data, which you're hearing for the very first time on this recording, because it just came out, it was requested by Elizabeth Warren yesterday, and the data just came out. 36 million Americans will have incredible change of lives as a minute that's signed into law. I've been telling you over the last few days that I'm reporting exclusively that the president's likely to sign the executive order as early as the end of this week. His education secretary, Miguel Cardona, is expected to deliver that memo by Friday that the president can forgive student loan debt. And when the president gets it, boy, away we go. That is what would happen. Elizabeth Warren is one of several Democrats, including Ron Wyden, who want to give you monthly stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package. But what's important to understand is they want to do other things on top of that. I always need to make things clear to viewers, and that's one of the things I want to make clear, that when we talk about this big stimulus checks, this is in addition to everything else that I'm also covering in these videos. So Elizabeth Warren wants to give $50,000 of student loan debt for you and also give you a stimulus check. Actually, not one, monthly. Those senators want you to have stimulus checks from the when it becomes law to the end of this year. So that's July to December approximately. That's 6 months. Wow. Look at this graphic. Look at it. Every month to December, that's 6 months. Well, how much are the monthly checks? The senators don't tell us. The House members want $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. But look at this money. Word on the street says they want to pay $1,400 a month or $2,000 a month. Look at that money. $8,400 over 6 months or $12,000 over 6 months. Who gets this? You. In addition to that student loan debt forgiveness? Yes, it's in addition. Well, what about that Ron Wyden thing you started with? I'm getting to that in a second. It's in addition to the Ron Wyden thing also. You mean I can get all three things? Absolutely, you can get all three things. So who gets the stimulus checks? $75,000 or less, single individual or married couple make $150,000 or less. Household size 4 or less. And if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security and Rural Benefits. You mean that these amounts are just for individuals? Yes. $1,400 an individual, for example. So the household has, let's say they do $2,000 a check for an individual. Household is 4. That means household would get $8,000 per month. Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. You mean that plus my $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness? Yes. Well, is there anything else coming out? Well, there's Coin. Did you tune in earlier to watch about Coin? So Lloyd's launching a new cryptocurrency, a new casino cryptocurrency called Coin. It's available only at the casino. You have to, instead of mining for it, you have to graze for it. Coin. Am I joking? You never know. You never know if there really is such a thing called Coin. Let's be laughing to the bank when we cash in our Coin later on. All right, so now let's turn to the incredible big news about Ron Wyden. Ron Wyden wants to give you $6,000. Wait a second, LALATE. You just told me I'm getting stimulus checks, monthly stimulus checks from those senators, and I'm getting $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness, and now I'm getting $6,000 from Ron Wyden. What do you think this is, 2020 for Nancy Pelosi? Yeah. These are Democrats. They want to give you a lot of money. So Ron Wyden minutes ago debuted a new bill. Is this the fourth stimulus package? No, this is one of those standalones. So do we have numbers for these? We don't, because it's just sort of standalone. It's between third and fourth. What is it called? It's called the Wyden Act. It sort of blows in the wind. No, it has its own name. This one is called the American Turn Your Page and Find It on Your Notes LALATE Act. What is it called? I mean, they get these names. The Unemployed Insurance Modernization Act, the UIMA, yeah, the UMIA, the UMIA would reform unemployment and give you $6,000. I could care less what it's called. Just give me the darn $6,000, please. How does this work? So it's very simple. The concept is the following. PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which you by now know because we've had it on this channel upwards of now 1 year. Can you imagine? I first recorded PUA on the very first day of this channel, April 25th. It was going live on April 28th. In fact, PUA was one of the reasons why this channel launched, because no one understood what PUA was. It was going live on April 28th, 2020. at least in some states. It was supposed to go live everywhere. Some states didn't go live for several weeks after that. And I had a real problem explaining to people what PUA was and FPUC. No, it was actually a joke for a few months. People got PUA and FPUC confused. Of course, I got them confused in one of those early videos. I called it FPUI, PUIL. Yeah, I couldn't get it right either. Well, people now by this point understand what PUA is. It's unemployment assistance for people who would not normally get unemployment assistance. Guess what? It's going away in September. It's going away in September. The third stimulus package, all the unemployment stuff, expires in September. And many insider thinks it's not going to get extended ever. That's going to go away. What does this mean? Well, PUA was UI for sole practitioners, gig workers, independent contractors who normally under state unemployment rules would not get unemployment assistance. So you knew what it was. You were an Uber Lyft driver, or you were a hairdresser, or you're a contractor, you were a solo, and you would never you would never qualify for unemployment assistance because you were not an employee. You don't have a W-2, you have a 1099. What's going away in September? So Ron Wyden is back with a solution. Here's $6,000. Yes, here is $6,000. His idea is to establish a new program under the Unemployment Insurance Modernization Act, which would establish that those people who would normally get PUA and don't have it once it expired because PUA was a temporary program, would now have a lifetime program, a permanent program called the Unemployment Insurance Modernization Act that would pay self-employed individuals, gig workers, and other workers who are who've lost their jobs, federal paid benefits of $250 per week for 6 months. So $250, $250, $250 for the first month and continuing for 6 months. $1,000 a month, or in other words, for 6 months, or in other words, $6,000. $250 a week per month, every week for 6 months. That's $6,000. Yes. So this is PUA's replacement when PUA expires in September. It basically says we want to provide you up to a half a year of unemployment coverage if you are a normal PUA person and for whatever reason you lost your job. Wyden issued a statement about this breaking news development today. Our unemployment system is broken, and it's been broken for decades. And as we've seen in the last year, it's much harder for the unemployment system to work in a crisis when it's been neglected and sabotaged. The CARES Act, which was the first stimulus package number one, established PUA, which is Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which offered unemployment assistance to self-employed individuals who normally wouldn't get benefits, PUA people. Well, those PUA people are losing their benefits in September. And now Wyden, who, of course, is the Democratic Oregon senator and chair of the Finance Committee, has introduced today with Michael Benet, a Democrat out of Colorado, a new legislation to the Senate that would extend unemployment benefits to eligible workers for 6 months. Wow. That's incredible, great news. To recap, that's in addition to stimulus check. That's in addition to the student loan debt forgiveness. This is just its own item of stimulus. Happening as law? Don't know. Remember, if something starts in the Senate, it has to go back to the House and then over to the president. So bills can start in the Senate, but they have to go back to the House and then over to the president. We've seen over the last year a lot of bills that start in the House, Senate, and never go anywhere. Let's hope this goes somewhere. It's a wonderful bill. Also making news today is jobs. A lot of new jobs across the board. Get ready because Walmart wants you. Walmart is moving to hire more full-time employees so that 2/3 of its workers are now full-time employees. That's up 53% from 5 years ago, slightly below than the industry average of 71%. Walmart says it will have 740,000 of its 1.2 million workers hourly switching to full-time by April 31st. Meantime, also making news today is American Airlines is planning to ramp up its travel industry in advance of the summer. American plans to fly more than 90% of its summer 2019 flights by this summer, adding 150 new routes for peak vacation season. American says its first quarter capacity was down 43% compared to 2019. What is their statement today? Throughout this pandemic, our trademark has been to build a schedule based upon what consumers tell us and what they need. And today they're telling us they're eagerly back to travel. So very exciting. And that's also been exciting for you for jobs. Those jobs are coming back. American Airlines ramping up travel across the country. Coming up later in this recording, we examine again that fourth stimulus check and how it will happen. What is the difference is of the Senate route versus the House route. Then also I'll be touching base with you about what's going on with those business grants. EIDL, PPP, all that business money that's coming across the board. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE. How are you? Hope you're having a beautiful afternoon. Thank you for joining me on Coin LALATE, our new show earlier today that covers cryptocurrency and the economics of cryptocurrency, the way to make money. And we debuted today with coverage of that Coinbase IPO, a historic initial public offering. Over the next few days, we'll detail all the other cryptocurrencies you need to understand and learn from, and their impact on Wall Street and your impact on you and the economy going forward. Thank you for joining me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Every like that you give really helps in the algorithm ranking. Let's see if we do 3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. You loved yesterday's schedule, so we're bringing that schedule back again. Guess what? Tonight again at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is Evenings LALATE. And the same time slot as always. Evenings LALATE is back with big breaking news. But after that, at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock West Coast, 9 o'clock Central, is a 1 hour special again of Jevita Light. Oh boy, she is back. You know, it's summertime. They still got their scarves on. So, you know, what else are you going to do? So I hope you join me for that. All right, let's cut to now fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is heating up. That fourth stimulus check, multiple stimulus checks. Let's understand where and when and how and who. First, the who, not the president. Who, not the Republicans. The what? Yeah, the senators, the congressional senators and the congressional House members who are Democrats. Where? They're going to put it in when they get the bill. Remember, the president doesn't write the bill. Nancy Pelosi starts by writing the bill after it goes by the recon process. Remember, there's a two-step process. Step one is the tow truck. Step one is the tow truck, which basically says, House members, do you want to do a recon? Yeah. Senators, you want to do a recon? Yeah. President, you want to do a recon? Yeah. Okay, tow truck over the finish line. Now the tow truck goes back and looks for the tow hitch. Tow hitch is what's in the recon, what is going to be actually the substance of the bill. We want to have some bridges, and we want to have some water, and we want to have some internet. Oh, and we also want some stimulus checks. That is the tow hitch. The president doesn't write it. the House members write it. They put it into subcommittees. Now, the House members may not put anything in there for stimulus checks, or they may. Really too hard to tell. But when that bill's finished out of the House and they call for a vote and it's finished, then it goes to the Senate. And that, during the 2-day vote-a-rama, is when the senators put the stimulus checks in. It's important for you to understand this nuance, because people hear the president talking a lot about his bills, more than a usual president does, because he's a former legislator, he's a former senator. So he likes to talk about bills, but it's not a bill. He hasn't written the bill, and it's only a proposal. And ultimately, he doesn't argue. He doesn't negotiate over the bill. The senators do. They make the modifications, and then they send it back to him. If he doesn't like it, he vetoes it. But he's not going to veto it. They're going to keep all of his stuff in there, just add some stimulus checks on top. So let's look at who and how they would do these stimulus checks. House members want to do $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. Senators, we don't know the amount. They haven't told us the monthly amount. But word on the street is they want to give you $2,000 a month, starting as soon as it becomes law, so hopefully July. Or $1,400 a month, starting July. Well, that's 6 months. Look at this money, $8,400. Or $12,000. This for a single individual. The senators at issue are leader, movers, and shakers of the Democratic Party. The House members are more progressives. The House members want to do this longer. They want to do pandemic plus 1 year. They want to do stimulus checks into a whole another year after this. Senators just want to do to this December. The push is already underway with senators, including Schumer and cabinet members who you see here, talking about relief. A lot of it is the push, a lot of it is the narrative, a lot of it is the optics. Let's listen into this latest new video from Chuck Schumer talking about forced stimulus.
Will they be able to get there? And we have to answer all those questions, yes. And I think the plan we're working on together does that.
That's right. You know, this is one of the reasons why it's so important to have the electric vehicle charging infrastructure that this country needs, especially as the cost of these cars keeps coming down. You know, depending on what class of vehicle you're talking about, we're already getting close to the point where it's a savings for a customer when you consider that you're not going to have to buy all that gas for all those years to buy an electric vehicle. But you got to know it's going to be able to get you to where you're going. Now, these new vehicles, I think a lot of us, maybe our imagination about these things starts with the original electric vehicle most of us might know, which is a golf cart. We're talking about some of the highest performing cars on the market now. They're coming out with all-wheel drive. They're coming out with pickup trucks. So they're really meeting consumers where we are. And they're getting longer and longer range. But you got to make sure we've got the chargers for them. And as you know, the president has promised on his campaign to massively expand the EV charging network that we have around the country so that you never have to think twice about whether you're going to be able to get to where you're going, even if it's a...
What they're talking about in this video is having charging stations across the country so you could drive your electric vehicle from East Coast to West Coast and have charging stations along the way.
long road trip.
Yeah, and I was really gratified, Mayor, that the president adopted the Clean Cars for America proposal that I had proposed a year ago. And it's gotten amazing support. And it has a lot of ramifications that affect all of us as Americans. Not only do we produce the electric cars and provide the charging stations everywhere, one by your home and then across the roads into America, but it's going to keep America preeminent as the #1 electric vehicle producer in the world. We've always been the leading car manufacturer in the world, and we've lost some ground in recent years. The Chinese and some other companies are deeply subsidizing their electric vehicle manufacturing. And if we just sit on our hands, we're going to find, as the world moves to electric vehicles, which it inevitably will because of climate change, we're not going to be driving American cars. So what our proposal does, the president's and ours, says we're going to make them here. And that's one of the reasons we've gotten great union support for our proposal.
So there you see the latest pitch from a senatorial leader and a cabinet member, Mayor Pete, talking about how good the jobs plan is. But, you know, at one point, someone starts to say, why the push? I mean, we all got it. We all love infrastructure. We love electric charging stations. We love clean water. We love internet. The big problem is, for purposes of negotiations, is the Republicans are not going to do climate. And in a new video, which you'll get to see on Evenings LA tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the president has a new campaign video about his jobs plan. And he mentions the word climate in literally just one time, one breath. And if you listen carefully, you almost miss it. Why? Because that's the part of the bill that makes it not bipartisan. Republicans say climate is a dead rival upon them. They're not going to do climate. And that's what signals reconciliation. The bill, the fourth stimulus package, has to go by reconciliation because there is no support from Republicans to do this way. And that's where the senators and the House members come in. During the reconciliation process is where they modify the bill, and they modify the bill when it gets to them in their own respective forum, whether it's the House or the Senate. The important thing to know is to get this done sooner rather than later. We saw a lot of excitement today across the world, whether it was Coinbase's IPO today or the excitement of cryptocurrency detailed on our new show here on LA, Coin LA. We also saw new advisories from the CDC to figure out what to do with Johnson & Johnson. And we saw blowout revenues coming in from the big banks today, from whether it was Wells Fargo or also the investment firm of Goldman Sachs. But it's important to understand that economic data is very strong. Consumer price index number yesterday, highest since 2018. And there's a belief that there's mounting inflation, incredible growth. What's important to know is you want this stimulus to land in that Senate as soon as possible, Also making news is there's a lot of help and relief for businesses. And that new relief is coming live. Now, I know and you know the president promised you to have business grants to start a new business. Didn't happen. This is for existing businesses. So the 2020 EIDL grant, which you may have applied for, it's now happening. So they're sending out the invites, not in chronological order, I can report, to 2020 applicants of the EIDL grant. And first doing the low-income-based communities, and then I'm going to do everyone else. Next, the shuttered venue grant is at sba.gov. Go apply for that if that's you. It's not just for venues. PPP grant has now been extended. Reach out to your Fundera, your Cabbage-type lenders for that. Also, the restaurant grant's about to go live as well, so watch for that exciting detail. And then, then we see the excitement about student loan debt forgiveness coming later this week. The $10,200 of unemployment refunded back to you, you may have paid taxes on, is coming in May, so we're less than a month away from that. The $1,700 of student financial aid, if you're a college student, reach out to your financial aid advisor for that. SNAP benefits are increased 15% between now and December, so get that as well. And finally, get rent, utilities, food, mortgage assistance, property owner assistance, and more, because those are available now from your city, your county, and your state. And if you need help with any of those, certainly reach out to the volunteers, as detailed in the commercial break before that. It was an interesting day in which the president announced the withdrawal from Afghanistan. A lot of surprising details. We had the excitement of Coinbase and its IPO. But what's important for you to know is that the narrative remains the same. Meantime, congratulations to my veterans. That third stimulus check of $1,400 landed by direct deposit today. I had asked yesterday for people to DM me and send me private messages if you got a direct deposit today, April 14th, and you are not a veteran. I've not received that email or that DM from anyone. So my analytics are now showing that the only direct deposits that landed today or yesterday were from veterans who had not been paid in prior rounds. If I'm wrong and you did get a direct deposit today and you're not a veteran, send me that DM so I can report on that tomorrow. Thank you for joining me on a big Afternoons LA. Coming up next is Evenings LA at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, followed by a 1-hour dose of Javita Late. That's at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. What a big day it's going to be, and what a fun and hilarious night it's going to be as well. Stay informed, stay focused. If you've not, go to the French channel, subscribe. Also like this video, and if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And if you're a member, you got a copy of Ron Wyden's bill earlier today. Stay informed, stay focused, and save LA for more.